Okay, so the question is, what kind of advice would I want to give somebody who is interested in becoming a writer? And what I usually say, I taught writing when I was still teaching in high school and things like that, and I've helped a lot of different writers over the years. And I've also there's times when I've met somebody and had conversation and kind of just felt like they were probably supposed to write in some form or capacity. And so I usually start out by saying, get a book, whether it's a three-ring binder or a leather-bound book or something, much like I showed you if you watch one of my last videos, like a preface book, something like that, where you can keep all your thoughts and ideas in. And I encourage people to write down their thoughts and ideas. Another thing that I think that everybody should do is just write. Don't overthink too much. Just start getting your thoughts and storylines down on paper or iPad or whatever you use, and don't overthink it. Having said that, that's just kind of to get the flow of writing, the creative juices going. Having said that, let's set that aside. As a writer, it is incredibly important, whether you're doing science fiction or historical or present day, that you do your research. I am an avid researcher, and I'm going to just be straight up and honest. No, I would never use Wikipedia. I would never just use some random stuff that I found online. Over the years, I've researched so much that after a while, you kind of get a feel for it, and you begin to recognize what is probably valid and what is just somebody's opinion or supposition on something. Obviously, if it's historical or if it's, maybe scientific or mathematical, it might be a little more concrete facts to find. But research, 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 and don't be afraid to go down the rabbit trail. Like in historical fiction, I'll look up, I can spend hours trying to write one sentence. Now, that's not every sentence. That's just, I have one thing I need to find out the history of, or what is the truth on that matter. And I will just spend hours writing on it. And the reason I say, at least in the beginning, maybe the middle, whatever you are in your research time, go down the rabbit trail, because I've gone down the rabbit trail, which has taken me all kinds of different routes, and I have found stuff I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally want to include this in what I'm writing. So sometimes the rabbit trail is great. Sometimes the rabbit trail is a distraction because you really just need to be concentrating and writing. Um, I would also encourage you to stick with what you know. I know people say that a lot, and when it comes to like sci-fi, I imagine, well, that's science fiction. So as long as you know, you can't absolutely live in that world. So I think your creative juices can go pretty uh, over the top. You just need to make sure it's feasible, believable. When it's historical, you have the privilege because you're writing history. So you don't necessarily have to have gone to some of the places you're writing about. And I'll be honest, I haven't, but I try never to make the mistake as trying to over describe a place that I've never seen with my own eyes. Now, the beauty of today is that it's the beauty, and also it's not great, is that there's cameras in a lot of places. So there are towns I've been in. So Washington, D.C., let's take it for an example. I've been to Washington, D.C. A couple of times. And there's cameras everywhere. So you can actually get onto those cameras and virtually walk down the street and look at the buildings and look around you. So say you were there, but you didn't take enough photos or you didn't see something, you can use research or those videos in such a way, or the cameras in such a way that helps you get a visual of it so that you can better describe it in your writing. So those are just a few helpful hints. Mostly I encourage people to just write, just start. Um, get out your own preface book, write down your own thoughts, figure out the best way that you write. Like, I love to write longhand, but I can't write as fast as my brain thinks. So typing is my best bet. Having said that, I think faster than I type, and I'm a fast typer. So you just have to figure it out. Maybe you want to be somebody that has the old-fashioned typewriter like I learned on. I have my grandma's old Hermes typewriter, and maybe you want to be that person because I do love the concept of that. But figure out who you are as a writer. Another super important thing, know your audience. Be true to what you're writing and know your audience. And if you do not have a degree in English grammar or literature or writing, I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that you find some trusted people that actually can edit. And there's copy editing, and then there's concept editing. So copy editing is more grammatical. Concept editing is more content, character development, the flow of the words, that kind of thing. So those are some ideas and just some helpful hints, and I hope it was helpful.